It's early as we welcome you back to Mobile once again, but San Diego State is playing catch-up. And you've not been able to say that all that often in this 13-game winning streak, only 19 minutes worth. So Cole Garvin right now hitting everything. Only one incompletion so far, but deep in his own territory on second down. Staying in the pocket, going deep, and overshooting his wideout, Tyrone Williams. He's got some sprinters on the outside, Brian. Williams can run it, so can Josh McGee.
Yeah, he can. That was a long ball right there. They did a good job of picking up the five-man rush. Didn't have a whole lot of pressure. Got it out of his hands really quickly, but puts him in a really difficult 3rd and 10 now.
They're back at their own 8-yard line. The Aztecs succeeded when they had a short field. We welcome you back, Joel Myers, Brian Kinchin, and our entire ESPN crew on a perfect night for football in Mobile, Alabama, in a stadium with a ton of history that opened back in 1948. It's Everett. He breaks the first, breaks the second, and he's got a first down. He killed San Diego State last year. He only had one touch before that one and made the most of this one.
And we get a glimpse of why offensive coordinator Brian Vincent wanted to get him the football on a 3rd and 10. You do a tight end screen. That's just not something that's high on anybody's list as an offense. But when you have a talent like Gerald Everett, 6'4", 240, who is elusive and can run, you see why he is so effective. Even when they knew they were going to throw the ball, and they probably knew they were going to go to him, and they still executed it and got the first down and moved the chains and kept the drive alive.
A little breathing room for Garvin. Ravel, the other running back, and bounced outside for a couple of yards, up to the 23. That'll be it. But still, they're missing their top 2 backs. So a resourceful group for Joey Jones. Johnson's out. Tyrese Thomas is out. Iola does so much on specials for them that you can't use them every snap at the backfield because you need them for punts and kicks.
It's great opportunities for young guys to be able to step up and make their presence known, to be able to get their shot, to be able to show what they can do. And we've seen that in Cole Garvin early at quarterback, of being able to come out here and really execute like it's nothing. Like he's just been doing this his entire career in college.
So now Deontay Moore comes into the backfield. Another sophomore on the low snap. Garvin with heat coming, going deep for McGee and off his fingertips. Good coverage downfield. That was Trey Lomax, the junior from San Diego, tracking him.
He plays one of their warrior positions. There's 2 of them depending on strength. One becomes strong safety, one becomes the will. Obviously, the strong safety in that situation, helping over the top, does a really good job. Trying to squeeze it in. 2 long balls right there by Garvin. This one long, had one right on target, but a good play defensively. Need to try to work that underneath stuff. They're using Everett, but they need to get him early in the downs instead of waiting till they're expecting to see him get the football.
On 3rd down, middle of the field, he wanted. Now extending the pocket and finds Kuchera for another first down. An unflappable beginning for Garvin.
And when you sit back in zone, only rushing 3, dropping 7, and a quarterback who can extend the play, who escapes like Houdini right there, it's very difficult for those zones to hold up. And those windows get a lot bigger the longer he can elongate that play. He does a good job of picking up Kuchera and making the conversion.
Garvin's now 8 for 11 for 120 yards and a touchdown toss to Kuchera of 37 yards. Iola in the backfield. Blitz is coming, and he doesn't pick up Calvin Munson at all. Is that inexperience? Because that was a on-rushing train.
No, that's not inexperience. That's a lineman having to be able to pick that up. He's the guy in the middle of the football field, the mic that you're counting, and they do this. This is what they do, and Brian Vincent knew that. He knew they like to pressure on first down to get you in 2nd and 3rd and long. You can't ask for more than to be in 2nd and 16. That's a very difficult position for any offense to be able to get out of, and they did exactly what they knew they were going to do, but obviously a little miscommunication up front, probably by the left guard and center, of being able to pick up Munson on the blitz.
A loss of 6, almost 7. A little bubble for Everett. No blocking out there. Man, right at the line of scrimmage. They gang tackled him. So McGee didn't get the little kick-out block he was trying to pick up. So it's going to be 3rd and still about 16 coming up. And we were talking about Calvin Munson. He calls all the sets. The outside linebacker, the senior from St. Louis, St. Charles, Missouri. First team All Mountain West Conference last year. And Rocky Long, who's also the defensive coordinator besides the head coach, said he doesn't want to leave the field. Bottom line.
Yeah, he's a guy who's an every down player. 30 straight starts. He knows what he's doing out there.
So they've extended it with a couple of third and longs, but this is 3rd and 16, almost 17. They pick up Munson. Now Garvin going down. Pressure pays off. And the big guy who shot through is Noble Hall, the sophomore from Las Vegas.
Yeah, and Iola tried to pick up Munson and got run straight over as well. That was a tough order for the senior back. He's only 205 pounds on Munson's 245 at a full sprint. I don't want that job, Joel, any day of the week. That was a losing battle right there.
Truxton waiting back deep. And the punch, this time much better from Brandon McGee. Turns it over. And Truxton with a big lane up the middle. He's got it across the midfield stripe and tripped up. And going down inside the 45.
Well, and we see coverage issues like we did last week against Nicholls State. They really struggled in that area. These guys need to be able to break down, gather their feet, and be able to make a play on the return. Those first two guys can take their shots. Those gunners come in. But then those guys who are in that second and third phase need to break down and be able to corral the return. You can't give away big return yards. It puts your defense in a bad spot, asking them to do a whole lot when they really don't need to if they're just fundamental in their coverage skills.
So it's all the way down at the 40. Last time they had a short field, 2 snaps later, they were in the end zone. Toss for Pumphrey. And Pumphrey bends it back inside. Look out inside the 20. Can he make it to the corner? On the run, he's pulled down. And a touchdown saving tackle.
And that's really
Jalen Thompson.
That's the first time we've seen them go out on the edge, and they have their big tight ends, number 87 Waring and number 88 David Wells, in a 2-by-2 look right there. And they just open up that seam right off tackle, and that's just why Pumphrey is so deadly. Once he gets out in open space, he's very hard to corral, very hard to bring down.
Leads the nation in rushing, and that's only 3 games, but came in with 599. The Mountain West Conference Player of the Year last season, the senior from Las Vegas. And now on 1st and goal for the 4. The toss to Pumphrey. Nowhere to go and loses about 3. They'll put about close to the 7.
Well, they tried that same play, opposite direction into the boundary with their 2 tight ends. Had a big number 71 in there to play out on the edge along with Waring, their tight end, but nothing there to the short side of the field.
So let's see with the ball on the far side hash. They try to move Pumphrey to the wide side. 5 for 7 in the red zone. It's Pumphrey left side this time. Lunging, he's in. Touchdown. San Diego State and Donnell Pumphrey. He went parallel to the ground to get the last couple of yards. Had to wait for the linesman.
And a nice move. You see that so many times, even though we were blocked by the referee's head right there, of extending and getting to the goal line, because every play now is reviewed. Every scoring play is reviewed, and that knee hits prior to that football crossing the goal line doesn't count. Guys experienced, senior, been around a long time, knows you got to extend to be able to get that football across the line, the goal line. Make sure it counts.
Now, let's see. Ryan Simmons, the long snapper, regular snapper, hurt on the first series. Blaine gets it down, and much better for San Diego State. And John Barron, who didn't have an opportunity the last time. Pumphrey making his presence felt in a 1-point game.